Hi YouTube, it's me. I'm coming to you guys with another update. But first, I need to ask a very, very important question. Is this a green Sour Patch Kid or is this a blue Sour Patch Kid? I've been said to be slightly colorblind. I really don't like the green ones, and I wanted to make sure it's blue. The more I look at it, the greener it looks. So, I don't know if I'm going to take the chance. Um, so, I had my sister's Sweet 16 last night, and there was a candy table, and I went ham. Like, I got bags and bags of candy. So that was something that I took from, that I got out of one of my bags today while I was studying. While I was studying, I also decided that it's probably a good time for me to make a video, being that I am halfway through the semester and so much has gone on. So just to remind you guys, or just to, I'm not sure if I've said this before, but my school, at my school, we do not start clinicals until the second semester. So everything that I'm doing is classroom, is me sitting in a classroom and me reading textbooks. I'm not doing any skills as of yet, and I'm not going to any clinical sites. At my school, a passing grade is 78 in all nursing and science classes, and it's, I believe, a 70 in all general education classes. And I am in a linear program, so every semester for every student is the same. So it's either once you come in as a freshman into the program, your first semester is going to be the same four classes that it would be for the next class that comes in and the next class. Second semester classes are set up the same, third, fourth, and fifth. My school used to be 4 semesters. They've changed it to 5 semesters, so now we attend during the summer. But it did lighten the workload, so I am kind of grateful that that change took place before I started the program. And this semester, I'm taking 2 of the 4 required classes. I'm taking Nursing 100, which is the foundations of nursing concepts. So it's not fundamentals. It's just the foundation of nursing concepts. We do use the fundamentals book, but we're doing a lot of we're doing more of the foundational chapters as far as information. So we're not doing anything that requires any skills. So we're doing stress and coping, spirituality. What other chapters have we done? Patient education, and several other things. But we're not touching on anything where we actually do any skills or any sort of physical evaluation. And I am taking English. I'm retaking English. I have taken English in the past, but it was too old to transfer into the program. And I messed up when I was registering for my CLEP exam. So I wasn't able to CLEP out of the class. But it's fine. I mean, with the amount of nursing, with the amount of care plans and everything we're going to be writing, I don't mind retaking English and kind of brushing up on grammar and all of that stuff. I have to look at the bright side of it. So yes. So for my updates, that's just the general background of what's going on. So I am currently going into my 8th week of nursing school, starting tomorrow or Wednesday, because that's when I have class, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So far, so good. It's been quite the ride. It's been I've definitely had some very stressful moments. I did get a little bit sick at one point during the semester. I went on a trip that I had planned from earlier this year or from the middle of this year during the semester. Like, a lot of different things have gone on. So I kind of broke everything down week by week. I had to write it out or else I would forget everything. So prior to the first week, which I did mention at orientation, we were assigned 3 chapters to read for our nursing class. I believe it's chapters 1, 2, and 6. I do have to double check on that, but yes. So we were required to read those 3 chapters. So the first day of class, which was Wednesday, I think September 7th. I think it was September 7th, something like that. We went over 2 of the 3 chapters that we had to read over, and kind of we received our first assignment, and kind of got an overview, went over our syllabus, kind of got an overview of what to expect throughout the semester. Um, my Nursing 100 professor is amazing. She's a very, very nice woman. Um, and she's very understanding. So her main thing is that she wants to get us acclimated to nursing school in general. She's obviously concerned about her class, but she wants to make sure that overall we're able to adapt into the whole nursing school rhythm. Um, so she's very, very helpful in things other than just her class, which is very comforting. Um, so week one, we reviewed two of the three chapters, assigned orientation. We were given an assignment and also given more reading to do, mostly on the ADPI chapters, which are the entire nursing process. On week two, we focused on ADPI as well. We continued reading those chapters, and we were also assigned a chapter to read for a quiz that was separate from the ADPI chapters. I believe that was our spirituality. Yeah, that was a quiz on spirituality. Week three, I took my first quiz, not exam, the first quiz, which was on spirituality, and I did get 100, so I was very, very happy about that. I figured, start off strong, and at least it will save me in the end. So at the end of week three, I had booked a trip to go to Jamaica. I booked a trip to go away, leaving, I guess, the day after my class, for my boyfriend's birthday. So the day after class, I flew out. I went out there. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're in the middle of nursing school and you're going on a trip. And I'm like, look, I don't know my next time that I'm going to have an opportunity to go on a trip. It was a milestone birthday, and I've never been to Jamaica before, so I was like, I'm going. So I got all my stuff ready, and I brought my books with me. I had my textbook, I had my workbook, and I went on the trip. Being that I was on the trip, and that obviously he fully understands me being in nursing school. He has family members who have gone through nursing school who are, have also gone through graduate nursing school programs. So he gets it. They've spoken to him and they're like, this is a different beast. This is not just her being in regular classes. Like, you need to understand she's in nursing school. It's totally different. So he's very, very understanding. So he knew that I needed to spend time studying, because during the third week of school, we were informed that we were going to have our exam the next week, our first exam. We were told that the exam was going to be on 7 chapters. Yes, 7. 7 whole chapters. I believe out of the chapters that we had reviewed by that time, maybe 3 of them were on the exam and 4 of them were new chapters. So I was a little freaked out. I'm not even going to lie. So I brought all my stuff with me to Paradise, and I spent 2 entire days studying. I'd wake up in the morning, and I would go and sit. So we were in a suite. I would go and sit in like the living room area, and I would just read and read and read from the morning until the nighttime, when I could actually go out and have some sort of fun. And I did that for 2 days, 2 full days of me being away for 4 days. So yeah, that trip was kind of beneficial in the way that I would have been at work during that time, and I would not have been able to even touch or think about my textbooks. So I was grateful to be away and have the opportunity to study at times where I normally wouldn't. So I think that trip brought me some good luck, and it gave me a lot more time to study. But it was great. So by the time that I came back, I returned on, I think, on Monday, had class again on Wednesday, and I took my first nursing exam, and I got an A. I was so ecstatic. Like, I could not believe it. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. Like, I can really, really do this. It felt great. So I was so happy about that. The 4th week of school was just great. The English class at that point had not been too much of a challenge, because we were just doing assignments for something called a writing portfolio. So we weren't really having any exams or anything like that. There wasn't much to study. So now we come into week 5 of school, and I feel like I'm starting to get a little sick. Um, I'm tired. I'm still not quite adjusted to working and going to school. So I go through this each and every semester. Once I have a break between, so for example, I had the summer between the spring and the fall, and I got used to just working. So once I get used to just working, it's hard for me to get used to working and going to school again. So I was exhausted by the fifth week of school. Um, by that week, we were covering pharmacology, just like really, really basic stuff. It's more terminology than anything. Um, I found it really interesting, and I know that I might regret this by the time I actually take the class, but I'm actually looking forward to it because it was one of the most interesting things that we've gone over so far. Um, so yes, we went over pharmacology, and um, let's see. I'm sorry, I'm reading through my notes. So went over pharmacology. It says exam following week plus assignment and reading due. Oh, okay. So that was week 5. So week 6, I had an exam for nursing fundamentals. For foundations. I had my midterm for English. I had a reading assignment due for nursing, an assignment, like an actual quiz that I had to that I had to turn in online, for nursing, and an assignment due for English. And I think me being sick on top of it and being just exhausted, it was just like way too much for me to have to handle. I was so stressed out. I actually made an update during that week, and I looked so crazy. I looked so crazy that I think anyone who watched the video would have been deterred from nursing school. Like, I looked insane. I was so stressed out. I was sick. I was just like contemplating everything. I'm like, I don't know if I can continue working during this program. I don't know if I could do any of this. It was just a lot. So week 5 was kind of like one of those weeks that really tested me. But I made it through. I think me feeling sick and just exhausted, having no energy, just made everything so much worse. Um, but I made it through that week. Let me see, week 6, I was still fighting the cold. Okay, so going into week 6, I got sick, I should say. So week 6, I was fighting a cold while I took my nursing exam. I took my English midterm. I did get B minuses on both exams. I was a little bit upset because I was studying every single day, and I'm like, how? But I'm grateful that I passed, um, and that I did well. I did do well. It's just that when it comes to the passing grade being a 78, getting a B minus doesn't feel so great, because I just passed, especially for my nursing class. Um, I got like low 80s, so I was a little bit upset about that. The English, I think passing is a 70, so yeah, okay, fine. But I just didn't want to B minus, especially after putting in so much work, studying so hard, and doing all of these things, being exhausted, literally living on chicken soup and like Red Bull. Like, I was really trying to. I really didn't drink that much Red Bull, but coffee, I should say. I was really trying to get a higher grade, um, but it's fine. One of my classmates reminded me that C's get degrees, and we laughed about it and everything like that. So yes, things are fine. Let me see. So week 6, no, week 7, I had a presentation in nursing, on a nursing theorist due. It was a group presentation. I noticed that they're trying to, they have us doing a lot of group work, I guess, to get used to dealing with people that have different strengths and weaknesses, learning your own strengths and weaknesses, and just kind of like learning how to get the job done regardless of anything. Um, my partner and I had a very interesting dynamic. I think that's a whole nother video because I do have another group presentation coming up, and I think I'm going to talk about the 2 presentations in another video. Um, just to kind of go over working as a group and everything like that. I am an extremely autonomous worker. I like to work by myself, and I know I have to get out of that. So I was open to working in a group, but it's just that it was just very, very interesting, especially being paired up so early in our nursing journey that we don't really know each other like that. Um, but the presentation came out beautifully, and that was the main thing. So I am gonna make a whole another video about that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make another video about that once I do the second presentation. Um, and then let me see, week 7, which was the week that just passed, was the final week to withdraw from any classes. From what I know, none of my classmates withdrew from any classes, which is really, really good. Um, and yes, so I'm going into my 8th week, and that's been pretty much what's been going on. So far, my group or my cohort is amazing, very, very supportive. Um, we've kind of like identified that we're on the same mission and that we kind of need each other's help, or that us not being rivals will make our journeys a lot easier. So we did realize that really, really early on. And yeah, I mean, I just hope that this continues semester through semester, but right now, everyone is getting along really well. We're just trying to get through, just trying to be each other's support systems, which is very, very important. And, who better to understand than somebody going through the same exact journey at the same exact time as you? So I'm really, really grateful for my class. I'm closer to some classmates than others. I don't see them as often as they see each other because I'm not taking the other 2 classes, which are anatomy, physiology, lecture, and lab, and general psychology. Those classes I was able to transfer in because I had taken them more recently than my English class. So yeah, I see my entire cohort. So I'm sorry, I'm watching House. I see my entire cohort in my English 100. In my nursing 100 class, but the English class is a lot less of us. Um, and yeah, so far so good. Um, I've been balancing like rushing from work to school pretty well. Inclement weather might be a little bit of an issue coming up because at this point, when I leave work and I arrive at school, I'm looking for parking at like 12 minutes past 4, and my class starts at 4:30. So like that's the time that I get there. And we don't have parking lots, so it's like on street parking that I have to go and look for. There is a parking garage that's like 3 blocks away, but it's expensive, first of all, and second, I don't want to walk to a parking garage by myself at night when I get out of class. Um, I am in metropolitan New York, so it's just, you never know. I'd rather be on the street where other people can see me. I'd rather be on the street where my other classmates park. So I do drive around and look for my parking, and I usually am successful at finding something. Um, when I go to class at 4:30, I normally have to do the meter twice, which is $2, $2. Actually, no, it's usually $2 and like $1 or $1.50. So it's like $3.50 or $3 for parking per day that I have class is definitely great compared to whatever I would be charged per hour in the parking garage. Um, and yeah, so far so good. I was just doing some studying. I have an exam. Is it a quiz or exam? I have a quiz coming up on Wednesday on 2 chapters. Pharmacology, which is interesting. It's going to be partially on pharmacology and partially on stress and coping. So yes, that's going to be an interesting quiz. I think it's only going to be 10 questions, and I'm like, from 2 chapters with so much information, I don't know. But we'll just see what happens. Trying to learn all my differences between like pharmacokinetics and pharmacology and pharmacogny and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to focus a lot on that because I have a feeling that's going to be on that exam. And stress and coping just in general is just a crazy chapter. There's so many different terms. There's so many different concepts. There's a lot of different things that we can apply to ADPI. So I'm just, going over all of that. And that is it. I'm going to try to make videos a little more often. It's just that I did get sick and I was extremely stressed. And I was just like coming home and just curling up in the fetal position, not wanting to do anything. but then I would have to get my books and go study. Um, so I am going to make videos more often. Once I do this other presentation, this other group presentation with my class, it's on nutrition. So once I do that, I will make a video kind of going over the group presentations that I've had to deal with during this semester and how I felt about them, um, and all of that. So, yes, if you haven't already, please comment, rate, subscribe. Follow me through my journey. I'm following a good amount of you guys. I every day I come on, well, not every day. Every time I come on YouTube, I do try to find different people going through the journey. Especially people who are kind of like in the same stages or in like one or two, maybe like one or two semesters ahead of me, just to follow and see what goes on. I do follow people that have already graduated, everything like that. But it's just really, really interesting, and it's comforting to know that even though we go to different schools, our programs are set up differently. Um, we're all going through the same thing. So it's really nice. I follow some people who are in school for LPN or LVN. I don't know what we call it in New York State, but it's either LPN or LVN. I follow RN nurses, nursing students, and I follow BSN nursing students. I also follow some graduate school nursing students, and those that have already graduated from all of the above. So, yes, it's a nice community that we have on YouTube, and I'm going to try my best to keep it going and to upload as much as possible. I've just finally kind of like gotten used to balancing both things. And I haven't been using the planner that I have, which is just really, really sad. This is how I am with planners. I obsess over them and then I stop using them. Um, I think I'm going to do a video on like the things that I found really, really useful at this point as well. Um, and yeah, so I'll see you guys soon, okay? All right.